This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry guys for this technical glitch. I have started the meeting again, and Ahmed, sorry for this inconvenience. I'm making your
No
presenter again.
problem, no problem. It's okay. I thought that it is a problem from my side.
No, 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 no. Okay, you are good to go, Ahmed.
Okay, okay. Let's wait for a few minutes because many people are able to join. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. So yeah, I was with platform as a service. So this is the example. Now, if you are only want to dine out, so you don't need to worry about that. You just take your keys and start your car or bike, and just you will go where you want, like Pizza Hut, Domino's, and all. So same way, if you want to use only software as a service, so networking, storage, service, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, application, everything will manage by service cloud provider. Got it? So that is basically the cloud computing server model, and I hope you can understand this thing. So that's why I had taken this pizza delivery model, which is very famous, uh, to tell about cloud. So infrastructure as a service, as I said, IT computer resources and which other cloud services run, and resources available remotely over a network, and PaaS platform as a service. You can create application for user, test application, deploy application, perform using resources remotely. And SaaS is basically perform specific business task, service delivered remotely. User can use any type of devices. User device require only a thin client. User may have limited application configuration setting, right? So these are the cloud service model, and this is XaaS, anything as a service. So this model basically fall under data as a service, storage as a service, communication as a service, and business process as a service. And DaaS, data as a service, means data is available on demand. And if it is a data of the bank, then it is encrypted, and geographic relocation is irrelevant. User can use any type of device and one version of a data file. And storage as a service means off-site data backup storage, and it is used for disaster recovery. And long-term data retention means your data backup will be valid for how long? For a year, for months, or for week. Okay. And communication as a service, basically based on provider equipment. It is remotely available over a network, and it complex if equipment setup, and fault tolerance assured by provider, and pay as you go. And business process as a service means outsource business process automation, rely on SaaS, PaaS, or infrastructure as a service. Business processes delivered over the cloud, and faster time to market, and complexity of business processes, and regulatory compliance, and barriers to cloud adoption. So that is the important point. So what are the barriers you have? So cloud computing has business data security and privacy, and compliance means necessary logging and auditing procedure. and after that, uh, fully guaranteed, reliable, high quality services, pay per use model, maybe extra cost you have to pay for support, disaster recovery application, and overall cost of adoption means time, money required to train user to use the technology. So that's why these days in IT industry of India, everybody is searching cloud expert who had done cloud migration from on-premises to Azure cloud or AWS cloud or OCI. So there are lots of opening for that. And geographical location and restricted internet access and inflexible contract. So these are the things. Now costing the cloud. So what is that? There are two terms in costing, capex and opex. Capex means you have capital expenses, and opex means operational expenses. So excuse me. So whatever resources usage is metered, and in private cloud it is departmental billing, and in public cloud it is internet consumer is billed, and customer does not incur IT expenditure. So what is the benefit of capex? Suppose you plan your expenses at the start of project, so your costs are fixed. Okay, so it means you exactly know how much you will spend for this project. So so you need to predict the expenses before a project start. So this is the benefit of capex. But suppose, what is the benefit of opex? Suppose demand and growth you are not able to judge. Okay, so which is challenge for capex if you are using. So so what you can go, you can go for opex. Okay, means you have limited budget, only you have to pay operation expenses. So traditional internal IT infrastructure basically are required, set up and manage internally. High capex is required, and collocation facility it is there, means you can use third party space for housing and running your IT infrastructure. And managed service and public cloud. Managed service means provider responsible for management of hardware, basic software, rental and database management. So it will reduce the capex and it will increase the opex. And public cloud basically fully outsource infrastructure solution. It involve only opex. So cloud computing is generally cost effective. So actual cost is depend on business requirement. So for cloud adoption, you can consider ongoing operational cost, you can reduce capital expenses, you can increase the demand, you can decrease the demand, you can shift the risk, you can reuse of service, and you can use agility. So these are the factor which involve in costing. So we have a cloud deploying model. So cloud deploying model is basically uh, IT services available to any subscriber on the internet. IT services hosted on provider equipment, services available 24/7, and easy and inexpensive for consumer because you don't need to do anything. Okay, so reuse existing data, and you have rapid scalability, and data reside in a data center, and data center can replicate the data. So this is the cloud computing model. So that you can go. And another is that less local IT expertise required, and reduce local space usage, and consumer treat public cloud cost as operational expenses, as I said before. And provider makes capital investment like Azure, AWS, and OCI. So they will build the infrastructure. You have to pay only what you will use. Okay. And private cloud is another model which you can use, but that is not provided by many vendors. And in that, everything you will build in your premises: hardware, software, license, installation, configuration, patching, troubleshooting, but everything built by the vendor in your premises. So the benefit of that, security is in your hand. So banking company can use this model, okay, because bank doesn't want their data should be stored outside of their premises, so that is risky. Okay, but cloud provider is providing everything, security and everything, but banking domain are not using this cloud public model because they have some this thing uh, doubt on that, right? So private cloud basically data regulation and fault tolerance, right? So this is cloud computing, cloud deployment model, and the benefits of cloud computing are many because it gives you everything without doing anything, right? Suppose these days Azure AWS is giving free practice server. You can only put your credit credential, and then you can use it, right? So benefit of cloud computing, that company can choose to use the cloud to store their data and execute logic as much as, okay. And cloud computing, as you know, that provide pay as you go computation model. So you have vertical scaling, you have horizontal scaling in that, okay. So you will get the benefit of that. And then for that, compliance term and requirement. So when selecting a cloud provider to host your solution, you should understand that provider can help your security and maintain the standard. So how complain is the cloud provider when it comes to handle sensitive data? How compliant are the services offered by the cloud provider? How can I deploy my own cloud-based solution to scenarios that have accreditation or compliance requirement? What terms are part of the privacy statement for the provider? So these type of question you can think before going to cloud. But cloud provider is providing compliance like criminal justice information services, cloud security alliance star certification, general data protection regulation, EU model clauses, health assurance probability and accountability act, and International Organization for Standardization and the International Electronical Commission, and multi-tier cloud security that is Singapore based. And these types of things is there in compliance, right? Clear? So at the end, what we did in today's session, we saw different type of cloud model that are available, and we have capex and opex differentiation, and we saw different cloud services available, and cloud model as such as public, private, and hybrid. So hybrid is another cloud which basically come into the picture when you can use some part of private cloud services and some part of public cloud services. So for banking, they can go with hybrid cloud, okay. And cloud service model are mainly three: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so thank you guys for this attending this session. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'm good to go.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. That was very nice and informative session. Guys, this is the contact detail here for Ahmed. And if you have any question, feel free to unmute your mic and ask the question. And in case if you want, you can also put your question into the chat window section. Ahmed, so here is the first question. Yesha asked, in cloud computing, is cloud computing secure? That's what she wanted to
Yes,
ask.
cloud computer is secure. That's why cloud vendor is using the certificate, and that will get the confidence. Like as I said, criminal justice information services, that is US state or local agency. Okay, cloud security alliance star certification. So Azure and Microsoft, because Azure is the product of that. So there are many list basically which is available. So what is the meaning of computing in the word cloud computing? Oh my god. Computing means you are combining everything on one place, right? Your application, your storage, your software. If you see my first page, you are asking the starting. So I think you joined late, or maybe any reason. See that this is cloud computing, where you are combining application, platform, and infrastructure, right? Thank you, Shah. According to you, which are main parameters that affect the performance to the cloud service? Because I believe that performance is very important to maintain cloud efficiency. Yes, the main factor is network. Okay, because that's why if you see, they have cloud provider has a data center region, and in region they have data center. So if you want to access cloud now in India, Mumbai and Hyderabad are the main data center where you can connect. Otherwise, if suppose you don't have a data center in India, you need to check in Asia. So in Asia, Singapore and Japan, like that. So that's why this performance is mostly depend on the network part. The first thing is that because of the connectivity, and then the server storage characteristics like CPU and RAM, and you can say power. So that is the performance is that. And in that you can, suppose if I'm talking about the database, so rack and data guard, so we can provide these two things, and we can configure on the cloud, so that I can provide the performance, I can provide the availability, I can provide the scalability, and I can provide the recovery also, because you can switch over from primary to standby and standby to primary, right? So Shah, I hope you understand. Then Rahmat, in cloud computing, how do we know we get what we build? See, you can, when you log in, you have a section where you can check your usage. Okay, so it is not, it is open. Okay, so everything is on their portal. So there is no hidden cost they will charge. I had taken Azure, I had taken AWS, I had taken OCI cloud license. So I am doing practices on every cloud these days. So what I use, suppose I started virtual machine, and after that when I want to end my work, so first switch off the virtual machine. If your virtual machine will not close, your meter will run, right? So you have to pay that. So please take care of that if you are using this type of things. So before going to shutdown, you need to switch off everything. Got it? What is the trend in cost of cloud services, decreasing or increasing at what approximate rate? Nitin, I can't tell that about the cost of cloud services, because that depends on the services which you are using. Okay, suppose you are basic 52 services from AWS are free. So if you are using that free services, you don't have to pay anything. But after that, if you are using another service, you have to pay for that particular service, right? So that is all about. I hope you are asking this for same paid given service. See, as I said, AWS is providing free services, 52 almost. So if you are using that services, you don't need to pay anything. Got it? But if you are using charged services, so you have to pay according to the rate per second or minute. So everything is available in chart form. That is not up to this cloud computing session. Please ask the question according to the today's session. So which parameter to be considered for compliance of SLA, that I need to show the practical, right? So that is not the part of this session. You can contact me on my mail ID, so I can tell you that. So this is my mail ID, ahmad@oracleride.com. So oracleride.com is my blog, and also Oracle Ride is my YouTube channel. So you can contact me on that. Any other question, guys?
It looks like there is one more.
Yeah, in SaaS software provide usually will do major upgrade. What are your thoughts? Who will do migration testing else it's customer of the server provider as SaaS triggered end user? See, in SaaS you are using only the data and everything. So everything will manage by the provider. So you in SaaS you don't do any migration testing and all. The cloud provider team will do that thing. So if you see the diagram of that, see that. So here in software as a service, all things will be managed by the provider, right? But if you are giving only using platform as a service, so you have to manage your application and data, right? I'm expecting one question, but nobody is asking that question. Can I tell that? Generally people ask which cloud technology we should go for job purpose, right? So this is the common question I was expecting. So I can answer this question in this way, that if suppose you want only job, then AWS is the leading player, because from last 9 years it is the leading, and 42% customer are using AWS, and 47, sorry, and 22% are using Azure, right? So my suggestion is that do two cloud, okay? And third, OCI, which is Oracle brand, which started late in 2016, but it is growing very fast, okay? So in my blog, I had written top 10 cloud vendors, so you can go and check that, oracleride.com. So in this quarter, Microsoft is the number one, right? So my combination is that either you can go with Azure or Azure and OCI, or you can go AWS and OCI. So OCI is the common, okay? Again, Vaibhavi, you are asking different question which is not related to this model or this session. Use cases for SaaS, I can explain in mail if you contact me. The use cases is that I have only my business model, okay, and that business model I don't want to make it, I only use it, okay. Yeah, Rahmat asked correctly, Gmail is the SaaS where you have to just create the user and password, and you have to use the services, right? And same way Netflix movies these days in lockdown, all are using cloud. You have to log in and you have to pay, that's it. Which movie you have to load, which movie you have to delete, everything is managed by Netflix. Got it, Vaibhavi? and that's why YouTube, Zoom. So like that, these are the things. Actually, I missed that slide where this which cloud provider is giving the services to which product. So that will be better. But I missed that slide to add that in session. Okay. So I think all question done.
Well, it looks like. Guys, do you have any question? Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Ahmad. It was indeed a very
Thank you.
nice and informative session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you
Take
all.
care.
Bye. Take care.